Welcome everyone to the Greene County Chamber of Commerce Watch and Learn series. This is our first one for 2021. We hope that today you're going to learn some information on how to have a diverse workforce and how that benefits your bottom line. Our presenters today are Zach Patton and Janice Creel. They're both management consultants with the Small Business Development Center, and they'll are available to you as a resource after this program is over. You can find out more information on how to reach them through the Chamber of Commerce or through the SBDC. We hope that you enjoy this today. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Zach Patton, and he will begin the presentation.
Thanks, Melody. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak today. Like Melody stated, my name's Zach Patton. I'm a management consultant at the University of Pittsburgh Small Business Development Center. I'll be presenting today along with another consultant on our staff, Janice. We're going to be talking about diverse workforces, hiring tips and tricks, and things like that. But before we kind of get into today's presentation, I'm going to present a few slides on just what the SBDC is, who we are, and services that we provide, just in case you're not familiar with the work that the SBDC does. So you can see here on this slide, the University of Pittsburgh Small Business Development Center provides business owners with information and tools necessary to build a successful business. So we work with people, I say that we span the entire gambit of business owners, people who are just in the beginning phases, thinking that they have an idea of starting a business and don't really know how to get started. We work with those people all the way through business owners who have operated a business successfully for years and years and are thinking about retiring and transitioning out of owning businesses. So pretty much that space between is where we operate with our clients. You can see here, everything that we provide at the University of Pittsburgh SBDC is no cost, confidential. We work one-on-one with our clients. We help them form business plans, get loans or get funding through loans or grants. We offer educational programming like this. Over the last year or so, now that we're able to expand our coverage using Zoom and things like that, we're able to reach people in Greene County and Washington County outside of just the university's campus in Oakland. We also are able to provide direct relationships to help secure contracts with large organizations like UPMC, the City of Pittsburgh, the Department of Energy, and the university itself. So you can see here on this map, we're not alone in helping businesses in the state. We have a vast network of SBDCs covering different locations in the area, or in the state, I should say. Me specifically, I focus on Washington and Greene County businesses. So if you are a business owner looking to work with the SBDC, chances are I'll be the one who will be working with you down there in Greene County. But you can see here, we cover the entire state, and also each SBDC has what we call a center of excellence. So for the University of Pittsburgh, one of our centers of excellence is digital services. The centers of excellence range all the way from agriculture, digital services, health and life sciences, international trade is a big one that we offer at the university as well. So depending on what industry your business is, there may be some opportunities for you to work with other SBDCs across the state who may have a center of excellence in the specific industry that you operate in. So you can see here we have a staff, a pretty large staff that has a diverse background. That's going to be a key thing that we're talking about today. One of the things that I like to tell my clients is with the diverse background and knowledge in different industries each of our consultants have, chances are if there's something that I'm not familiar with, I'm able to reach out to somebody else on our team who has specific experience to get you the answer or to point you in the right direction. So we really rely on each other for information and expertise, which is going to come into play a lot today when we talk about diverse workforces and teams and things like that. So this slide right here kind of summarizes some of the services that the SBDC offers. Like I said, everything is completely cost-free. If there's something that we don't provide, I normally tell my clients we at least know somebody who we're able to point you in the direction to be able to provide that service. So you can see here, business planning, market research, HR, financial analysis. So this comes into play whenever you're starting up, or if you're thinking about acquiring a business and figuring out what the value is. Product commercialization. We also offer things like international trade, of environmental management assistance and services. So you can see there's a lot of different services and backgrounds in 4 different industries that the SBDC is able to assist with. So today, what we're going to be talking about is how a diverse workforce benefits your bottom line. So you can see here, what is a diverse workplace? Tools and tips for hiring the best employees. So we're going to go over some different strategies of getting the most qualified, but also the best qualified candidate with a diverse background that will really help and benefit your team. And then later on, like I said, Janice is going to be going over some of the benefits of a diverse workforce. So let's get started. So you can see here, there are many types of workplace diversity. Typically, people like to think of workplace diversity as either racial or ethnic diversity. But in the last few years, things have changed, and what we consider a diverse workforce covers a multitude of different characteristics. And we're going to go over that in the next slide. So what is diversity and inclusion? So diversity obviously refers to political beliefs, race, culture, sexual orientation, religion, class, or gender identity differences. In the workplace specifically, diversity means your staff consists of individuals who bring new perspectives and backgrounds to the table. A thing that I'm going to be bringing up constantly during this presentation is the ability for your staff and employees to be able to bring new perspectives into, whether it's project management, having conversations, problem solving in the office, having the ability to look at things from different perspectives based on people's backgrounds and experience and expertise is invaluable in the workforce. Inclusion means that everyone in the diverse mix feels involved, valued, respected, treated fairly, and embedded in your culture. So pretty much everybody that is in the room, having the conversation, thinking out, planning, has some say and feels valued, that what they're saying is being heard by everyone. Why is this important? So the idea of having a diverse workplace is becoming incredibly important, because now we're not only just working in a local economy, a regional economy, we're expanding globally with the internet and selling products and social media and things like that. With a globally connected society and market, workplace diversity is becoming almost a necessity. So most of the modern companies can sell their products all over the world. So that means that the products or services that you're providing are being sold to different backgrounds, ethnic groups, different levels of income all over the world. So you need to be aware of that. And it also helps if your employees are aware of that or have some background in that. So having a diverse workforce allows you to have real-time, up-to-date information on what your customers, whether it be nationally, globally, would be interested in or need. So you can see here, this slide, just a little quote that I thought is pretty relevant. A truly diverse workforce is one that not only looks diverse, but encourages diversity of thought. So this goes back to bringing in different perspectives and looking at the same problem from different angles to try and solve it. And that comes from having people have different experiences or history, or have been through that problem before, and they're able to provide some insight. So the next few slides, I'm going to go over some tips, tricks, and things like that to be able to recruit and hire and find those employees that are going to be able to come onto your staff and provide that diverse or new perspective that I talked about in the last few slides. So the number one tip is we're going to talk about job postings, right? So when you're looking to fill a role, you have to create a job posting. And the biggest thing is you want to write the job postings more carefully to attract diverse candidates. Sometimes on the first, second draft of a job posting, you're doing things that you may not even consider that are ruling out specific candidates. So you want to make your job posting as open and I don't want to use the word generic, but to attract the most amount of candidates so you're able to make that decision rather than just sorting out candidates that may be qualified but don't feel the need to apply because for whatever reason the language or the verbiage that you use in a job posting rules them out. So you definitely want to go through those old postings if it's an existing posting or prior to posting. You want to make sure that you have a couple of set of eyes look over the job postings to make sure that you're going to be able to attract the most amount of people. Tip number 2. So this is a big thing that's been happening over the last couple of months or to a year, I guess I should say, is the idea of flexible workplace policies. Being flexible, obviously, in the last year has become increasingly important. Just with different generations, different people's lifestyles, when they prefer to work, how often they prefer to work. Being as flexible as possible makes your company that much more attractive to the best candidates. So this is something to definitely consider. You can see here, this third bullet, the McKinsey's research found company cultural value women find attractive as flexible schedules. I think for a lot of us over the last year, flexible scheduling is incredibly important. So having work from home options, flex time, things like that allows you to stay in the running for attracting the most best qualified but also experienced candidate for your job. So another tip that companies have been using is what we call personality assessments. So these usually using typical recruiting criteria, previous employers, what university you graduated with, were you referred from a network and things like that, decrease diversity. So let's just say I'm involved in a network and I see that the SBDC has a job posting and I know somebody in my professional network that I recommend to the job. The reason why it decreases diversity is chances are if I belong to, like, let's just say a young professionals network, chances are somebody similar, my same age, probably background, works in a similar industry, that's going to be the person that I'm going to recommend for the job. And so if that person gets hired, then now there's less diversity on our team. So you want to make sure that you're able to find ways to figure out who the person is. And using these personality assessments is one way. So another tip that we're going to talk about today is diverse sourcing. So hiring through referrals typically leads to candidates recommending people similar to themselves. Just how I said in the last slide about people graduating from the same university or in the same professional network. So one strategy is to use third-party websites to post your open roles. You want to provide candidates ways to find out more about your company and employees. This is something that we've been recommending to clients and business owners, is to have kind of like a page on your website that goes over what the company culture is, or who the business is, or who the employees are. Whether it just be a small contact us or have like staff bios and things like that, so candidates have an idea of who they're meeting or who they're going to be working with. Another route that I would recommend, I know that the SBDC has a strong relationship with the PA Career Link system. Using Career Link to have job postings and things like that is another strategy. Using things like third-party websites, whether it be Monster.com or Indeed, using the Career Link network is another really good recommendation that I make for business owners. So the next couple of slides are going to be going through kind of how to screen through candidates once people start applying for your job. So you can see here, resume screening is an automated resume screening replaces manual shortlisting. So having to go through all of the applicants and things like that, we're kind of using a technology or a digital way to sift through initially the first candidates. So you can see here, the system is objective and applies the same criteria to all the candidates. So there may be ways to kind of sift through some of the initial applicants. So whenever you're looking at going through resumes and cover letters and things like that, you're looking at the most qualified candidates. Blind resumes is a really popular strategy when trying to hire people, and it really comes into play when you're trying to think about creating a diverse workplace. So using blind resumes, for those of you who don't know, basically you take off any type of like personal indicators or anything like that, and you're literally just reviewing resumes, basically of taking out all of the unconscious bias. So you can see here, remove candidate's name from the resume. Also take off things like graduation year, what college they went to, the address, so you know kind of where they're living or where they grew up. And I did include the last bullet point. This is a really great strategy, but it is very time consuming to have to kind of block out all that information and then start comparing the candidates' resumes. So taking that a step further, you potentially could do blind interviews to help increase workplace diversity. So you can have candidates anonymously answer job-related questions and kind of sift through them. The problem is that if you're asking questions like that on the phone or via Zoom or things like that, you're typically already doing a phone screening during the hiring process. So it's really hard to take some of the biases and things like that out of a blind interview at that point in the hiring process. So this is where I'm going to hand off the presentation to Janice. We'll have time at the end if anybody has any questions or things like that. But Janice, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Zach. One thing to keep in mind when we're hiring, even though we're small businesses, is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC. They're responsible for enforcing the federal laws that make it illegal to discriminate against a job applicant or an employee because. Next slide, please. And there's 8 objectives. We cannot discriminate based on race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, disability, or genetic information. All of these are described on the EEO website for small business resources. Many of these laws come into effect for small businesses if you have 1 employee. Others come into effect when you have 15 employees or more. So I encourage you to go to the Small Business Resource Center with the EEOC. They'll answer your questions about the laws. They also help to provide suggestions to help prevent harassment, retaliation, and other forms of unlawful discrimination. And lastly, the EEOC offers to train you and your employees about workplace rights and responsibilities. All of these resources are at no charge. Next slide. So let's talk about the benefits for a diverse workforce. The whole goal here is to empower your employees. Next slide. So consider these facts. Diverse companies enjoy 2.3 times higher cash flow per employee. Inclusive teams improve performance by 30% in a diverse workforce. And companies with a diverse management team saw a 19% increase in revenue compared to less diverse peers. And keep in mind, diversity really comes across many levels now. So it's backgrounds, it's our culture, it's traditions that reflect our nation's rich diversity. It's just not only what we would think of 20 years ago, it is so much more now. Next slide, please. And in today's inclusive work environment, diversity promotes a sense of belonging. And when that employee feels connected at work, we see so many benefits to the employer itself. Employees work harder, they work smarter, more innovative and creative, and produce results. Next slide, please. And most importantly is employee retention. So when an employee feels connected at work, they're more loyal. And the employment process is very labor intensive for us as small business owners, but it's also very expensive. So we want to retain our employers. And they take pride in their work, and it does increase employee productivity. Next slide, please. And a diverse workforce promotes better decision-making because we pull from a wider range of sources and experiences, as Zach had said earlier. We are very collaborative, engage, and listen, and diverse teams process facts more carefully because we're taking them from different points of view. Next slide. And then with a diverse workforce, we have increased employee engagement and trust. And this helps our inclusive teams to thrive. Inclusive teams also have higher morales, more productive, are innovative, and loyal to their employers. And this is a question for all of you. Do you have a diversity and inclusion statement? Next slide, please. If you don't, I encourage you to create one. This should be very visible on your website, especially if you are advertising for new employees. They want to look for a diversity and inclusion statement example. This is one from Comcast. Comcast NBC Universal, very short but very precise diversity and inclusion statement. Together, they continue to build an inclusive culture that encourages, supports, and celebrates the diverse voices of their employees. It fuels our innovation and connects us with our customers and communities we serve. So it doesn't need to be very long, but this is where you take the mission and your vision of your company one step further to create a diversity and inclusion statement. Next slide, please. This, on the other hand, is Stanley Black & Decker's diversity and inclusion statement, which you can see is much more detailed and substantially longer than the NBC Comcast. The main thing here is that they go a step further if you jump ahead to the very last paragraph. To support an inclusive environment where employees feel empowered to share their experiences and ideas, we've created the creation of a variety of employee resource groups. So Stanley Black & Decker wants their employees to really have shared experiences in the workplace. And they've created groups within their company that pertain not only to the entire group, but to specifics. And these probably go back to their mission and vision of who they want as employees. They have groups for women, for veterans, for LGBTQ groups, African ancestry, and developing professionals, and more. So that within their company, if their employees want to create a group or join a group, there's one there for them. Next slide. And finally, we know there's challenges in creating a diverse workforce. And as leaders and small business owners, you need to be the voice of this change and tackle the challenge head on. And the best way to do that is to communicate your company initiatives. And how you do that is really up to you, but we encourage you to use technology. As we have seen over the past 15 months with the pandemic, the best and quickest way to communicate to your employees, to communicate with your customers and to your shareholders is to use technology. Do that authentically. Do that through email, through your customer relationship management tools, through your CMR platforms, through mobile, including texting. And most importantly, as leaders and small business owners, be an active listener. If you're having challenges recruiting new employees, ask why. If you're having challenges losing employees, ask why. Be open, honest, and authentic. And the more feedback you receive, the more prepared you are to take these challenges head on. Next slide. And lastly, measure. Explain the diversity initiatives to your team. Create those key performance indicators through your HR department. And as small business owners, you're typically wearing an HR hat yourself. But look at your employee demographics before and after your diversity hiring measures are implemented and measure those outcomes. With this latest round of hiring, did you increase diversity within your company or organization? Talk to your employees and ask for feedback about your diversity initiatives. Do anonymous surveys. And again, have your HR department or yourself as the HR leader, do comparison of your current workforce now and what it looks like in 6 months. And if you're not achieving diversity, work to create those measures to establish that moving forward. And at this point, we want to thank you for attending today's program. A special thank you to Melanie Longstreth, with the Executive Director of the Greene County Chamber of Commerce. If you do have any additional questions and reach to contact the Small Business Development Center with the University of Pittsburgh, please do so at sbdc@innovation.pitt.edu. Zach, myself, or any member of our team are welcome and encourage you to reach out to us for assistance.
Thanks, Janice. Melody, that's all that we have for today. Like Janice said, any business owner in Greene County, if they're interested in working with the SBDC, we're always here to help. You can reach out to Melody to get in touch with us. You can email the SBDC at innovation.pitt.edu. I'm happy to work with any business owner in any way that we can. Going back to the initial slides of the presentation, we're not here just to help in hiring decisions, but in a multitude of different business owning aspects. So we're happy to help. We're here to help, and please reach out if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Zach and Janice, for being with us today. I hope that folks can take a lot away from the information that you presented on both topics, both the programs that the SBDC can assist with, and then also with the diversity workforce. So if you have any other questions, please reach out to either myself or to Zach or Janice, and we're here to help you do business better in Greene County. Thank you all and have a great day.